express respectfully, remembering both during debate and in decision making that we are elected to represent and serve the people of Glenorchy and to make our city the best it can be. And finally, I note that this session of the meeting, this open section is being live streamed, and an audio-visual recording of the meeting will occur in accordance with the council's recording of the council meeting policies. Members of the public are not permitted to make audio or visual recordings of council meetings. We have 12 items on the agenda this afternoon, and agenda 1 is apologies, and we have received an apology from Mayor Suki this afternoon. Moving on to item 2 is the confirmation of our minutes. If I can get a move it. Alderman Slade, Alderman Peter Riddler, a second. Any discussion?
I've got none, Acting Chair. They're reflective of the meeting that I attended. I believe they're true and accurate record.
Thank you. Any other discussion? We'll move that motion. Those in favour? That's passed unanimously. Moving on to item 3 is the announcements by the Chair, and I've got a number to make here this afternoon.
Two lots.
Oh, there's 2 lots.
Special
council, of course. Yes, sorry.
It was close. It was close. Yeah.
So we'll move. We'll move to the Alderman Tim Marks for the special council meeting, and Alderman Peter Riddler for the secondary. And any discussion?
No discussion, just all true and correct.
Thank you very much. All those in favour, raise your hand. That's passed unanimously. Thank you. Item 3 is the announcements by the Chair. And I'd obviously like to take this opportunity to address the incident near the pool and the concerns that have been raised by members of our community. And first and foremost, it's really important that we clarify the facts. And there was no security breach at the pool. The fire was not within the pool site, and it was extinguished very quickly. The fire did not impact the pool infrastructure or the ongoing redevelopment works, and there's been no disruption to any of the renovation timeline because of this incident. And I can assure the community that there are safety measures in place at the pool. The site is currently under the control of the appointed builder, not the council. So therefore, it is standard practice. The contractor is responsible for site management and security during construction, and they have the appropriate security measures in place. Once the site is formally handed back to council, we will implement our own security arrangements. Now, for security reasons, it's not appropriate to detail these measures in a public forum. I also want to address concerns about people sleeping rough in our area and suggestions that council is doing nothing. I can assure you that council takes a compassionate, coordinated and evidence-based approach to homelessness. Our community development team works actively, and our partner agencies include the Salvation Army Streets to Home program and the Tasmanian Police to address this very, very complex issue. We're aware of individuals camping near the rivulet and have had ongoing engagement with these people with plans underway to help them, support them and help them relocate safely. Arrangements are also in progress to clean up the site. It's important to acknowledge that many individuals are experiencing homelessness and they do face complex challenges, and it's including mental health issues as well. These are not issues that can be turned around quickly through enforcement alone. And it's not just simply a matter of just moving these people on, which has been suggested. Our approach will prioritise safety, dignity, and connection to support services. And I want to assure the public that council takes its responsibilities in relation to the pool project and supporting vulnerable members in our community very seriously. And we'll continue to work collaboratively and responsibly, and also, most importantly, compassionately, to ensure that accurate information is shared with our community. Moving on to our pool update. So much significant progress has been made across all areas of the project, with the head contract nearing completion. The change rooms has been completed with the final occupancy certificate now issued. Works on the pool structure are significantly advanced and nearing completion, with key elements including the accessible ramp tiling and handrails underway, and structural repairs and surface preparation largely complete. The painting of the pool interior is now underway. In the plant room, critical infrastructure has been installed, including the new switchboard, ventilation, sewer systems, and pumps, supporting the future operation of the facility. Across the broader site, the grandstand and the service works complete or very well advanced, and alongside the installation of the water heating system and solar infrastructure. The change in place facility has been delivered with access works and parking improvements now in the advanced stages of construction. The project remains on track for completion of the head contract within this financial year. So you've got a couple of days to go.
Yeah, so because of the wet weather, we may actually spill into the new financial year by a week or so.
Okay. A week or so. We'll be on you.
No more than 2.
Yeah, the site cleanup and the commissioning might extend a little bit longer than that, but then they should be wrapped up the work within the next fortnight. But yeah, there's a little bit of a variation on the equipotential bonding, which you can see that channel around the exterior of the pool, but only minor delay.
Okay. All right, we'll be on to you. Don't worry about that. Following that, council will continue with the final site works and landscaping to ensure that we're open by the start of the season, October the 1st. Our youth hub, the weekly drop-in centre, has been a huge success with over 50 young people calling in between 3 and 5 p.m. on a Thursday to enjoy some warm food, good company, and some fun stuff to do. It's a great space. The space has also been used by the Friendship Hub on a Monday morning, where our older community members can come together, catch up and connect. Local flexible learning providers such as Blended, Indie School, St Francis Flexible Learning have also been utilising the hub to give their students some alternative space to participate in education. And from this Wednesday, the drop-in centres will be run each weekday from 3 to 5. So we're expanding to the whole week. That's fantastic news. That's very good news for a much needed service for our community. Public art project update. You may have seen on our Facebook page that the southern wall of the council chambers building is now home to a striking new artwork. These vibrant mushrooms are one of several installations that are helping bring colour, creativity and local character to our public spaces. This new artwork is part of the collection being commissioned by council that includes the Transport Museum shed on the cycleway, the chamber wall facing the bus mall, Cooper Street, and the revolving art on the kiosk at the front of the chambers. The comms team have produced a video about the Cooper Street mural, and which has been posted on Facebook and on the YouTube channels. We're going to play that video, are we? That'd be great.
G'day, my name's Jarman.
And my name is Luke. We are the artists of this beautiful mural, and collaboration with Glenorchy City Council.
The idea started, it started as an idea, and then it poured out into the sketchbook with a pencil and paper whilst Luke was playing some guitar. So I started sketching, and I was really trying to convey an idea that I had in my head to Luke to convince him of it. And as I was drawing it, he's like, not convinced, not convinced. And then I got to a certain point in the drawing, and he's like, oh yeah, now I can see it, that'll look cool. And once I finished up that drawing, we submitted the design to Glenorchy, and everyone there seemed pretty happy too. I mean, the beauty, I think, of this mural is that there is a lot of different areas on it, a lot of different aspects to it, so different people get something different from it. But particularly it describes the local area that we're standing in, on the foreshores of Timali Menanya, which I think is the Palawakani name for the Derwent River, and under the shadow of Kunani, Mount Wellington. And here we have the mountain painted in the mural, so that sort of sets the scene for what the mural's describing. And so it's really describing the local area and in many ways the local community. What are the feet? The feet, the feet are, in many ways, they're a nod to the old eye mural. So when Luke and I developed the old mural, which was affectionately known as the eye mural.
The eye mural, yes.
We were working with the Council of the Aged, COTA, and over 65s and under 15s in a workshop environment to develop a mural for this area, which was kind of a bit unloved and unseen. And so the idea of the eyes, when it came up as a motif in the workshop was to draw attention and visibility to this space, which the mural was very effective in doing, and this space and the mural itself became widely known to the community to such a point that when it was announced it would be painting over it, there were some people who were understandably upset because they loved the old mural so much. So we wanted to include some nods, such as the eyes in the mural to the old mural, but also to shift the thinking of the mural. So originally the eyes are drawing attention to the space. Now that attention has been drawn, the feet are firmly landing presence in the space, so human presence. So we are here, and we're here with everyone, all the other creatures, all the plant life in this community. So that's why the mural's called Everyone's Here. Yeah, super happy with the mural, but really we're also very happy with the support we received from Glenorchy City Council, which made this whole experience really amazing.
Yeah, 100%. It was we just felt welcome and supported, and we also felt that from the community itself. The people who came by every day to look at the mural, they were super supportive and gave us lots of inspiration to do what we did, which was
a real sense of pride and ownership, I think, from around the community.
Yeah, and I think that's reflected in the work that we've done, and we are super proud of what we do and what we've done here, and yeah, we just hope the Glenorchy people and the council and everyone just get yeah, really enjoy looking at the mural.
Good. Super talented people, and wow, I think it's very impressive, very, very impressive. But it's it's so good to have that insight and that understanding of the background and what it all means. So, you know, and obviously being called Everyone's Here, what a fantastic nod to our community. Move on to, we have another event that we had, which was the Be Kinder Day. Last week we celebrated kindness and connection and community on our Be Kinder Day, with a successful event brought together younger and older members of our community. And this event showcased the power of communication and community connection in reducing social isolation. And one of the events was held, one of the highlights of the event was school children being interviewed by older participants, what it was like for them to be at school. And here's another video of today.
Over 132,000 Be Kinder cards have travelled across Australia and the world, spreading kindness like confetti. By connecting with others, like sharing a Be Kinder greeting card, a kind message can turn loneliness into belonging.
Absolutely brilliant. Today, and finally, the Salvation Army and the TOMRA launched a new initiative to help turn containers into meals for Tasmanians in need. Up to the 4th of October, the Salvation Army will be raising funds across the state through Recycler Awards to provide meals for struggling families with over 100,000 containers recycling, which equals 1,000 meals. The launch took place at the Recycler Awards return point in Glenorchy Central and was also followed by a community barbecue on front lawns at lunchtime today. Finally, I did say finally in the last one, this is another finally, Candidate Information Evening. This is a reminder to that Council and the Local Government Association of Tasmania will be joining forces this Wednesday at 5:30 at the Moona Arts Centre to host a candidate information session. And so if anyone thinking of running for council in October elections, you're welcome to come along. It's a free session and we'll cover what council does, how decisions are made, and what it means to be an elected member and what you need to know before nominating for the election. RSVPs are essential and can be done via our advert on Facebook. So hopefully see some people along there, it'll be great. We will move on to agenda item 4. Any pecuniary interests from anyone here today? No, that's great. Item 5, response to public question times taken on notice. We had no public questions taken on notice. So we'll move on to question time, public question time, which is for 15 minutes. Now, in our agenda, there is a full list of rules that are there for our community for our public question times, which will be for 15 minutes. This council meeting is a formal meeting of the elected members elected by the community. It is chaired by myself. Public question time is an opportunity in the formal meeting to ask questions of their elected council representatives about matters that affect ratepayers and citizens. In accordance with Regulation 36, 37 and 38, local government meeting procedures regulations, council will allocate 15 minutes during each council meeting to invite members of the public to ask questions. So a couple of highlights of the rules I will talk about is that questions must relate to the activities of council. Questions are to be put succinctly and in the form of a question, not a comment. And questions must not be inflammatory, abusive, defamatory, contain a personal attack, or otherwise breach the rules of the meeting, which have been explained by myself. So does anyone like to ask a question? Marla, Ms. Crew, you're welcome.
You could call me Mum. My question pertains to social and community housing. I'd like to know why we aren't planning for 4 to 5 bedroom properties. A lady that I've spoken about in this forum at one of these meetings at some stage, Miss Rebecca Rutherford, is a mother of 5 children, and she lives in a rundown house and pays $595 a week in Claremont. And I understand that this is the jurisdiction of state government, but I also understand that local government gets involved at the planning stages. And why aren't we doing that at this stage to prepare? I understand that further that it has been, this has hit us all of a sudden, having a housing shortage. But for the future, is council prepared to build more 4 and 5 bedroom homes? There's a second part to that question as well. At the initial stages when agreements are signed, why aren't we including a bit in there that says that should their circumstances change, that they would have to give up these 4 and 5 bedroom places and move to a smaller place, because we find lots of older people suffering the empty nest syndrome but refuse to leave the home that they've lived in for 20 years. It's all very well, from a compassionate perspective and all that, but we're in the throes of a housing crisis. So we ought to be addressing those matters.
Yeah.
Is council planning for that?
So I'll answer a couple of questions. I'll hand over to the CEO. Obviously it is a state government run in terms of the housing and social housing. We've got our commitment and our statement on housing, so we will do what we can do within that realm from a local government point of view, and we'll work very hard, and we do that. And just a little bit of background from my understanding as well, is that many of the social housing that is being built are 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, and a lot of that comes down to need. So there's not in terms of they're trying to put out as many houses as they possibly can, and so it comes down to what the need is available. But I fully understand that there are families out there requiring it. So certainly understand, but that's my personal understanding. I might just hand over to the CEO.
Yep. Thank you, Acting Mayor. So social housing and the policy that goes along with it on what sort of houses that are being built really is with Homes Tasmania. Councils can advocate for types of housing for people who have needs for more bedrooms, because at the moment they are trying to catch up with 1 and 2 bedroom units, because they have got that empty nester syndrome, but people have got nowhere to go. Like, kids are left home, people don't need a big 3-bedroom house with a yard, so they are trying to provide more in the 2-bedroom space. And I know that they keep pretty detailed stats on what the demand in the areas are for each region. The first part of your question about the planning scheme. So council can only assess development applications against the scheme. So that planning process is really receiving a plan and make sure it complies with the overlays and the setbacks and things that the scheme dictates. It's not planning for types of houses in different suburbs. So I guess whilst councils do get involved in providing housing, our involvement is in making underutilised land available for housing, but we don't actually dictate what sort of housing goes on that. However, our advocacy can actually go to that level to say, we want to see more 2-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, if we know there's a need.
Well, as a member of TASCOS, this has been addressed, and although you might have Homes Tasmania and all these other bodies, but they don't actually address the real problem. And I've been at meetings, and TASCOS hosted the budget announcement, and the Premier was there, and the big thing was housing. And I think from council's perspective, this council could actively advocate for the people in Glenorchy, and especially in Glenorchy, which has a socioeconomic group that has mixed, blended families and larger families, because of blended families. And if we could advocate for that, and you could advocate for that as a council, that would help tremendously.
Acting Mayor, the Homes does keep pretty detailed stats of what is being requested, what the demand level is. So they actually do track, certain areas need 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, and they do try and provide a mix for larger families right down to the smaller ones. Because we've met with Homes Tas on various occasions, trying to advocate for more housing. There is a housing shortage, a housing crisis. We've got people sleeping rough in all over. Every municipal area has. I've spoken to a lot of the greater Hobart councils, so this is not unique to Glenorchy. And we're all working with Homes Tas to try and do what we can to see more houses come out the door.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good. Just one small point. Second question. I noticed that you have your hearing stuff here, but I've got a phone call from Mr. George Burrows today. Nobody's spoken to him directly about that. I think at the last meeting we decided that council would contact Mr. Burrows directly.
Okay. Sorry. Yes, we can do that. I thought he was going to contact us. Yeah,
Thank you.
We can make contact. Yep.
Thank you.
For you, Mr. Burrows actually stopped me today and asked me about the same thing, the hearing group, and asked me to test it tonight because I work in that as well.
Yeah, we'll get back to Mr. Rice. Who's next? Who'd like to go?
Jim Bright, England Avenue, Montrose. Community members have contacted me with concerns about the renewal of the sponsorship policy on tonight's agenda. Analysing it, there are serious anomalies, omissions and contradictions in the policy related to compliance with legislation and other council policies, as well as governance and risk management issues affecting our ratepayers and community standards. There are many concerns about lack of transparency, conflict of interest management and accountability when spending ratepayer money. For example, the delegation by elected members on page 5 of the policy states sponsorship arrangements for $20,000 or more are determined by the Chief Executive Officer. Under Section 22 of the Local Government Act 1993, elected members hold the ultimate power to allocate public funds, and the policy delegates the power for anything over $20,000 to the CEO. How can this possibly be right, and should it read less than $20,000? It is not normal for elected members to delegate such open-ended power to spend ratepayers' money without providing transparency to ratepayers through an open council meeting. Are there conflict of interest gifts and benefits registers in compliance with Australian Standards AASB 124, related party disclosures publicly available for executive staff and the CEO? If costly sponsorships are not approved in open council by elected members, does a risk, cost and benefit analysis exist? And what are the details and full cost of sponsorship known that is known to no one except the CEO when he authorises this spending? This policy appears to seriously breach the responsibilities of elected members to ratepayers. On behalf of ratepayers, it is therefore requested that debate on this policy be deferred and rescinded until there is sufficient time for the further research and analysis necessary to provide a detailed report on the issues of concern for elected members.
So what was your question?
My question is, can that policy please be deferred until there is a proper analysis of what's contained in that policy?
I'll ask the CEO to answer that question, but I would make a comment to say that all of us around the table, this is from what I've read, it's a adjustment to the policy that's already been in place. There's been a sponsorship policy already in place currently, so there's no large changes to it already. But I'll hand it to the CEO.
Thanks, Acting Mayor. All I can really say is the sponsorship policy has been in place for many years.
2022.
And prior to that, yeah, that was the last update.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that would have been the last update period. And there's only been minor amendments like updating the name of the general manager to CEO and those sort of things. So, yeah, I guess I note your concern, but yeah, I guess we could actually make that over 20,000 is reported to council as an amendment or an addition. That would rectify that concern.
Point of order, can't we resolve this to the debate for the motion tonight? That would be the last course of action I feel to take.
Thank you.
We'll be debating this around the table, so we can address that then, I feel.
We'll leave that as a question. Thank you. Thank you for your question.
I have a lot of issues which I can list for you, but it's not appropriate in this forum.
Yeah, we can take them on notice.
Yep.
If you go ahead.
Thank you very much. Okay, the second question. Why have the costs for running the Glenorchy Memorial Pool escalated from $300,000 reported for the 22-23 year, and it was closed at in March 23, to the media announcement of $700,000? Why did council portray this in the mainstream media with photos of the pool and misleadingly report this is the only reason for the 5.4% rate increase? There was no mention of other reasons for the rate increase that was 3.3 million, plus a further 1.8 million increase in user charges, totaling a 5.2 million increase this year. Why does council continue to again blame the essential provision of a pool for their community as being a drain on ratepayers in widespread media reports when it isn't true? The community voted by elector poll to overwhelmingly support the need for our pool. Why have ratepayers been misled when there is so much lack of transparency around other spending, such as the running costs for the Moona Arts Centre and the huge unexplained 9.2 million in other expenses in the budget estimates presented at the same time as the rate increase?
Acting Mayor, I don't think that's quite correct. So the pool in our media release, so I'm not sure where you got that report from.
It was in the Mercury.
Our media release actually stated clearly that it wasn't just the pool. There were about 4 reasons why the rate increase was 5.4%, and it included issues like the fuel escalation, increased construction costs, the increased inflation and CPI, and the pool, which increased its depreciation, and the new contract for the operation of running the pool is obviously going to be higher than what it was in 2023. So there were a number of factors. It wasn't just the pool. If a media outlet honed in on one reason, well, yeah, that's not what council intended. Council was trying to be transparent in making sure that people got a balanced view of why our rate increase was 5.4%.
The big problem when there is misreporting like that, it never gets corrected, you know, and people think that that's the pool is a drain on council.
Yeah.
Well, there's certainly from what we've been, sorry, I was going to say there has been an increase from the pool because we have to pay for the pool. We have to.
I don't care. You pay for the pool. Oh, the pool is important.
And absolutely it is, and that's why we've done what we've done. So I just, if you could understand that we around this table want this pool as much as everyone else. So just understand that.
Sorry. What I was going to say is that, well, the ratepayers are paying for the pool, so it's the rates that we charge that pays for everything, all the services that we provide. So, and I'm lost. Correcting the record, the media don't see a story in that. No. So we could put out a correct media release, but whether they pick it up or not, it's highly unlikely. So they like, more the impact media type headline than, oh, sorry, that wasn't quite right what we reported last time. So
just as a point though, through you, if I may, acting there, that you could write a letter to the media, Janice, and say that it's been incorrectly reported, and that would hold some weight. They would probably report that. There you go.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Point of order for me.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you, Mayor. We're out of question time.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
So can I switch to move that we have another allocation of 15
I'm happy to extend it from 15 minutes, yes.
Thank you. And also, can the who asked the questions not make allegations against us? It's to be a question to us.
Yep. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
need a seconder for that.
Thank you. No, that's fine. Thank you. It's noted. Ms. Rose.
Hi, my name's Leanne Rose. I live in Anderson Street, West Moona. And today I want to talk to you about what's been happening at the pool. I sent an email earlier.
Just make sure it is a question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to thank the council for providing a Facebook page post telling the community about the fire at the pool. And you advised everyone that the small fire was deliberately lit. It was adjacent to the Glenorchy War Memorial Pool construction site, and it also stated that council had CCTV footage of the incident, and the KG5 sports complex is monitored by 24/7 security services. Now, my question is, I note that there's 24/7 security service at the War Memorial Pool. I also note that you've got 3 lights that was put up back in 2023 when I contacted Bet Thomas and asked you to increase security then. I would like to ask for that to be extended to service the pool facility. I noticed today that you've stated that you're not able to do that because the builders are actually responsible for security. If that is the case, then please contact the builders and ask them to put security, especially up around the rear fence where the campers are. And I think you'll find this really interesting. I have a photo of where the fire was on my phone, which I sent you today.
Yeah, we've had our team has gone and investigated, so we're aware of where it is.
I just wanted to point out something important. In that photo there, that's where the fire was. So for you to say it wasn't in the Glenorchy pool site, I think you can actually see by that photo, the actual fire's gone beyond the fence. And there's also, I took this photo yesterday at the site, and there's also a bowl that's been used to heat water and food. Now that's still there. And there's also a hole in the fence again at the site. I wrote in April, I wrote and asked for you to fix that hole that was in the fence at that time, and it was fixed. And I was told in my email that council would be vigilant and keep an eye on the fence and make sure that a hole wasn't left in the fence for a long period of time again. So it's really disappointing. And yeah, I just want to know if we can get 24/7 service to the facility, and if with that, can we get more cameras around the fence line? So how soon do you think that could happen?
Ask you.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. So at the moment, the full possession of the site has legally been signed over to the builders so that they can be the principal contractor and manage all the activity on that site. So they do have run of the site. They have their own security measures in place, which I won't go into for obvious reasons. When that site's handed back to council, we have security systems that are ready to be reactivated probably in about, well, just after the site's handed over. And that will entail the 24/7 will be monitored back on that specific area, because at the moment it's more general. Lighting wise, so we've got to be careful with lighting, so we're not lighting up the whole area that makes it attractive, but we're looking at options for lighting, probably more like security type lighting.
Yeah, I'm suggesting security mainly when it sees movement.
Yeah, motion centred. Yep,
Yeah.
and cameras, and the camera system's already there actually. So and perimeter beams. So there's a whole range of things that.
So the camera system's there, but it's not working.
So whilst the work has been undertaken by the builders, there has been rewiring and other things that have not made certain things active, but certain things are active, and the builder has some of their own measures in place as well. As soon as we take it over, we'll be implementing the full array of security features.
Thank you very much. My second question is concerning the people that are camped outside the pool site. And I just want to get the information in front of me, so bear with me for a moment.
You're right.
So, I've already said I sent an email today. I request that you activate a fire and community safety issue risk assessment. And the reasons why I asked you to undertake a risk assessment and consider moving the people who are in tents, moving them along immediately, is because I've written some points in my email that I sent to you today. There are two tents immediately behind the rear pool fence, right near where I showed you where that fire is, where that fire pit is. It's adjacent to the river and the fire pit. A fence has been seen, I've sent on the photo. It is still sitting there with a metal bowl in it for heating water and food. Now I've been contacted by the member of the public, and that was a light on Thursday night as well. I don't know whether you're aware of that, but I'm just letting you know, because I didn't put that in my email today. 2 tents are on the rivulet bank between the railway building and the pool site. There's a tent on the other side of the rivulet. I've been told there was another fire at the site Thursday night, that some of the occupants are on drugs, and police checked their tents for drugs a week ago. Are you aware of that? I witnessed people affected by drugs. There's a lot of people who fought for the pool who go down and check it regularly. Now, it's dangerous for people like me to go and check on what's happening with the fence and what's happening with regard to security and with regard to fires. So it's actually a safety risk for the public, as well as you're opening on the 1st of October. You're going to have children in that area. These people need to be moved on with the help of Homes Tasmania and all the other services, the drug services that can be provided to them. They can be moved on now, because if they get too comfortable there, which they are, they're hanging clothes up on the trees and on the fences.
Come to your question.
I'd like you to do a risk assessment, and I'd like you to take action immediately to move the people that are in the tent on, because there's a risk to the pool site getting burnt again.
Yes.
And it's an urgent risk.
Okay.
Because the fire's still there, and there's also people that go down there, and there'll be children there in October.
Excuse me, Ms. Rhodes, please. To answer your question, we are aware of what's going on down there, and our team has been working to alleviate the concerns and to make sure that their risks are dealt with. So,
thanks, Acting Mayor. The activity that's going on down there, we have been aware of. The people in that area have been coming and going, so they haven't been there the whole time for a long duration. However, we know that they've probably been there for, well, a bit more permanent in the last few weeks. We started working with them last week to try and find them alternative places, because this is not a simple, this is quite a complex issue. You can't just say get out. And
I understand the council can allocate a space somewhere else, and even if they want to camp, they camp there, and you provide the toilets and the showers where they can go to have toilets and showers, where they can go to get food. I think it's really urgent to move them on now.
Excuse me.
You have to have willing,
he's got the floor.
You have to have willing participants though. So we've been working with them last week to try and ask them to move on. The Salvation Army Streets to Home program, we're part of that, and we've had the Salvation Army there. Their counsellors have been working specifically with one of those individuals who's let's say more difficult. There is only 2 people living there, even though there's more tents. So they're using the tents as storage or just an alternative room. But there's 2 people living there that we're aware of. So the Streets to Home program are working with the state government's social services and Homes Tas to try and find them some critical care shelter in the short term. One is not willing to leave, so we are working now with Tas Police. We met with them today to look at options of what we can do to help them and relocate them. So we are working on it, so it's not like something that we're just ignoring, but like I said, it's not a simple problem to fix straight away. Now the site itself, We've had crews down there. After the smoke came up, we actually had our after hours staff check the site to make sure it was safe. They did identify the holes in the fence. There was 2. They have been already repaired and fixed. The cleanup of the site is being arranged if we can work with the people that are staying there, or move them on and then we'll clean up after. But the remnants of the fire will also be cleaned up fairly soon. So we are working with them. We are aware of the issues and the risk it creates, and we are trying to alleviate that, especially before the pool opens, because we're aware of the situation with having that going on while people are using the pool.
Were you aware, like, I sent you a photo of the garbage bags next to one of the tents. This morning, all the garbage had been thrown all over the riverbank. Were you aware that that's happened?
No, but I did read that in your email.
So that will be cleaned up soon as well.
Point of order. Could I suggest that council maybe provide Ms Rose with a copy of information that outlines council's rights in this situation and the individual's rights in this situation under the law? That may give Ms Rose a better understanding of where we sit acting mayor, with how our hands are tied, what we can and can't do. So maybe if that information was communicated back to Ms Rose, she might have a better understanding.
Thank you, Shane.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm actually happy to have a discussion.
If you're happy to meet with the CEO.
Yeah, that'd be good. I find it really frustrating. Sorry, but I find it really frustrating when you say things like, we can't move unwilling participants. I don't believe that to be true, and I find that really disappointing and heartbreaking, because I've been fighting for the pool for 3 years. I came and did a deputation in 2023. I asked you guys to work alongside us. I asked you guys to come together with us. And every time we bring something up, you get on the defensive. I mean, there should be communication between the two of us. We should be able to have debate, and we should be able to respect one another.
This is not the time for debate.
When is the time for debate?
We can meet with you and talk with you. There's no problem.
I don't want to meet somebody one-on-one. I don't want to be bullied by someone here, which has already happened to me. I want us to meet as a forum, and like we do with the public meetings. And
this is not the time.
We had to force a public meeting from you guys.
This is not the time for debate. Public question time is finished. Thank you.
Yeah, I expected that from you, Mr. Yaxley. When I spoke to you about how abrasive that comment was in 2023, you told me if people aren't comfortable with the way they're treated, they shouldn't come to the council meeting. I got that in writing from you, and you want to be mayor. That's disgusting.
Don't forget your coat. Sorry,
Yes, we're finished.
Oh, Eddie.
Point of order, Mayor. I just think we've got the rules for question time. We've really got to stress it's questions only, and we're not in a position to. No alderman should be answering any questions, and we shouldn't be debating it. And I think we need to reinforce that up front, even during the process. That got out of hand.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
It was unfair. So
thank you.
You did a good job. Don't worry. But the thing is, it's got out of hand. It's taken us half an hour.
Well, I've given leniency where I've given leniency.
I appreciate
and
that.
I have given care to understand and let everyone have their say. I won't have accusations made that are inflammatory, and that's why we had to stop.
Yeah, and also, Mayor, I don't know if there's anyone else that wants to ask a question. We'll have to extend the question.
Unfortunately, public question time has finished. So we'll move on to item 7, which is the petitions addressing council meeting. Do we have any?
No.
Thank you. Moving on to item 8.1, which is the activities of the mayor. If I could have someone move that. Alderman King, seconded by Alderman Alderton. Any discussion?
Not really. I mean, the mayor's not here, so it's a bit unfair to discuss what she may or may not have done throughout the week. I just hope she's all right, and we'll see her next time. Appreciate all that she tries to do, and all that every alderman and councillor and councillorship and alderman try to do, which we've all done a lot in these last few weeks. If anyone knew that there's a number of people who've attended a number of events, so yeah, thank you to all.
Very good. Any other comments? We'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Move unanimously. Moving on to item 9.1 is the economic development plan for prosperous Glenorchy 2031. If I can have someone to move. Alderman King, seconder. Councillor Kendall. Alderman King.
Firstly, I'd like to thank the staff through CEO and all those that had something to do with this and this additional information we received. This is a report that's been generated through our team. General Manager, correct? Or CEO, sorry.
Yes, it's a response to last council meeting. We actually rescinded a lot of the old economic development documents,
yes.
And this is the new one that's replacing it, and mostly done in-house with our own team.
This is, I think, it's a very positive plan. I've seen a lot of business plans over many years done by highly qualified people, and this is up there. And I note that we have risk in there, or we mention risk and the potential of risk and how that could slow things down. That's life. That's purely life. You've allowed for that. It's what, if you don't, as I think I said in the other meeting, if we plan to fail, we fail to plan. And if you don't have a plan, it's better to have a plan and fail than do nothing. And so this is incredibly well put together from my perspective. The only thing I'd like to ask is that the reports come to council. If we go report every quarter instead of once a year, I just think we can be updated on progress rather than, it says yearly, I think, in there, some page 35 or something, wasn't it?
Yes, annually.
Yeah, so it's an annual update.
Yeah, so, and it says report quarterly to the team, I think.
Executive leadership.
Yeah, so it'd be nice if, nice is probably the wrong term, but I'd love it if we could be reported to quarterly as well, just we're updated and kept in the loop. And if, anything changes even in between that quarter that we, things can happen, we all understand that. That's, somebody could bomb someplace, who knows? Or we could get another COVID, or who knows what else. So we're prepared to live with it.
Yeah.
I think sorry.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Acting Mayor, we're happy to take note of that and amend the plan to provide quarterly reports.
We don't need to move a second or anything like that. It's just purely an amendment to the plan.
Yep, no worries.
Thanks, Debbie. Following on Alderman King's comment about quarterly, I was actually going to suggest that we have a progress report at least each council meeting where we are. More like I've discussed with CEO before about exceptional reporting, and that'll give us a progress of how we're tracking on the strategic economic plan. Is that difficult?
Acting Mayor, I honestly, I think that would probably be excessive because there'll be some months where you don't get any progress, so there wouldn't be anything to report.
Better than that, we're not progressing.
Quarterly would be a cycle, because we also do our capital works reports quarterly and a couple of other things that we do quarterly.
So we have our quarterly report.
All right, okay, we'll put it in with that. Okay.
Or every 3
we'll
months.
accept that. Thank you.
Every 3 months to keep you.
Sorry, sir.
Every 3 months to keep you happy.
Thank you. Thank you for the understanding.
Yeah.
Anyone else would like to speak? Alderman Alderson.
Thank you, Mayor. More a question in regards around the action plan, where it lists the ID number, then the lead. Some of them don't have any support. So my question was around probably to the CEO. Why do some of these action plans, action items don't include support? So for example, if you go through and you look at 3, you've got the leads, the asset and engineering design, and support is property, but for some of the others, for example, 1 or 2, 6, 9, there is no supporting recommendation in the action plan, or no supporting.
Could you just refer to a page number?
That's on page 52.
Mayor, I can answer that. Yep. So where we have a support, it's where certain tasks cross into another area.
Right.
So you'll have a lead group and a support group, because there will be a certain amount of the response or actions need to be taken by multiple teams. So in some where there's no support, it means that the action will be taken solely by that area, that person, that department.
And then where does that ultimately report to? Does that sit with you, CEO?
Ultimately, yes. I guess the buck stops with me, but it'll go to director, and then we'll compile the report, and it'll basically come from me. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you. Yeah, so thanks so much for this prosperous Glenorchy plan. Yeah, so there are some things I really like about it, and I really appreciate the learning more about the principles of economic development and planning in that bigger context and bigger picture, thinking about what our economy should look like in the future, and also seeing all of that interesting demographic information, which was, yeah, really fascinating, seeing some of the barriers that we have in terms of our general median income and a huge part of our population being the elderly or young, so we've got quite a young median age, but also that means there's a lot of need of support in our area. So we've definitely got some barriers to overcome. But yeah, I really appreciated reading about this and thinking about the future of our area and what economic development would look like in our area. I really liked the focus on the nighttime economy stuff. I think that is a really big gap, and leading into filling some of the vacant shop fronts in our area. So thinking of creative ways to do that. So I appreciated reading it. I guess I struggled a little bit in terms of really liking the principles of economic development in there, but hoping that we had enough resources in the action points to actually connect to that economic development happening, because I guess we've got limited resources to roll it out. You know, we're pretty much doing it within existing resources of council. So yeah, so that was the only sad face in the process, I guess, is just I would have loved to see, and I know no one's got a crystal ball at this point in time, but we are in a very precarious economic moment in terms of our future and what it looks like. So yeah, I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and it would have been great to forecast how we really cleverly put some resources into economic development to leverage against that, or to insure our citizens against it. But I mean, I think it's a great plan. Yeah, there's a lot of points that I really like in it. There was one part I didn't quite understand that I wanted to ask a question about, and hopefully I will remember the page number, but it's part about using technology and innovation to improve services, productivity and resilience. And I wasn't sure what that meant. In the table, it's listed as potential $20 million indicative, but it's got in brackets. So I was wondering what that meant, if there was some kind of potential grant income that was hinged on that. It's about digital literacy.
What page is that?
Does anyone know about that? Oh, should have come more prepared. But yeah, there's a little table that said 20 million indicative.
48.
Page 48.
It's on this sheet, doesn't it? Almost.
48 of the
48 of the actual
document.
Yeah.
I think Patrick's onto it.
Yeah, it's here it is.
Actually, Mayor, I could answer part of your initial question. There are some projects in here that aren't resourced, but we've made a statement that there's when we're able or looking to start that, we'll package it up into a project plan and seek a budget for resources when we're looking for delivery, so that we'll not just sort of wish or hope that it might happen, but we'll actually create a project, cost it out properly, then put a proposal to council to say, you know, this will deliver so much into the economy and the return is this, and these are the resources we require. So we did deliberately anticipate that there would be projects that we can't do right away. However, we'll work our way towards that. The digital literacy is using, and I'm not quite at that page yet, here we are, is about using technology to create efficiencies within our own environment. So trying to help people use self-help, improving our website so people can do things without having to come into the council chamber if need be, or even putting a self-help computer in the customer service area so people can do that, but also to improve technology throughout the Glenorchy community, like smart city type initiatives, like lighting that comes on automatically if you're in the area, traffic signals that detect people that are standing there, and a whole range of other things that technology is supposed to be helping us improve our lives with. So,
Okay. And in terms of the approvals for plans that might come in the future, will that be a part of the annual budget bid process or just worked into annual planning?
It'll be more like a budget bid process if it's one that we need resources for.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, all right, excellent. So, I mean, I guess my thoughts in general were just that we're going into a very volatile time with potentially a bunch of job losses on the horizon for local people. It's a big destabilised moment. So, I mean, yeah, we can try our hardest to try to ensure our citizens are still able to keep their heads above water, but yeah, with limited resources, I guess this is a good place to start.
Anyone else like to make a comment? No, I'll just make a quick comment, just in terms of obviously this reduces the number of plans on the shelf. We've had a number of plans sitting on the shelf for a number of years, and it's been something that is not neglect is not quite the right word, but I guess there's been other priorities that have been in place. So it's now good to have an economic development plan that will bring our city forward. To really put the stake in the ground to say we are open for business and we're not shy about it. Worried about, can we actually deliver on the plan? Some of these items are very achievable, and it's at least a plan that we can now move forward with discipline and consistency. And I think we're up for the challenge. So if there's no one else to speak to it, I'll put that motion to a vote. Oh, back to Alderman Kim. My apologies.
Yeah, no, it's all good. With a large document like this, I think we're all drawn to different aspects, different points of it, and things interest in some sections more than others for all of us. And so it's good that we have a number of us to talk about the different points of the document. I think this is a document with a lot of hope and direction, more hope and direction that I've seen in this council in a long time. And so well done, CEO and staff, and let's put it into place and let's make things happen. Thank you.
No worries. With that, we'll put the motion to the vote. All in favour? Raise your hand. That's passed unanimously. Moving on to item 10.1, policy update for the mobile food businesses on council property. If I can get the mover for that. Councillor Kendall, and seconder Alderman Stringer. Councillor Kendall.
Yeah, so we've got quite a few policies on the agenda for tonight, and most of them are just purely typographical changes, and this is one of those policy updates. Happy to open it to debate.
Just a quick question to you, through acting new CEO. We've got a number of restrictions, guidelines, directions for mobile usage of these sorts of food businesses, etc. How do we monitor them after hours? Do we do it by complaints if something goes wrong? Is it a complaint-based thing? Or I know we don't have staff provision to go out and check on every van that's out there.
Through your acting mayor, we actually do spot checks, and we do act on complaints, photos sent to us. But I might hand over to our director of legal on that.
It's good for the community to know. So.
Yeah, thank you, and through you, Mayor. Yeah, I mean, it is, to be honest, it is largely complaints based, and ironically, it was only in this last month that we've actually had a couple. In general, the policy has been operating really well for the last 4-year period. The complaints we've had more recently are relating to a specific site where there's a couple of operators that are operating outside of the policy's requirements. So our compliance team is working through that at the moment. We're not talking about major issues.
No.
But effectively, there's too many people there and taking up too much of the site, which is in exceedance of what the policy is requiring. But to be honest, it's probably a pretty good outcome that over that 4-year period, it is only really this recent string of complaints for this one particular site that come through. So overall, it's been operating really well. And even that site itself, it's not necessarily the policy itself. If they were following the policy, it would have been okay. It's more that there's a couple of operators operating outside of the policy, which we're addressing as we speak.
That was my question, Acting Mayor, but I see this as generally a well-written policy and except for our, ability to, we can't be there all the time. It's not a policing issue. It's purely a case of relying on people to do the right thing. And when somebody does report it, well done. Always different when you've got 3 or 4 people to site that takes 2. I was there first. Yeah, sure. So well done. Thank you.
Anyone else? Alderman Riddler.
Yeah, just a question through you to the director. I'm a bit confused in relation to, on page 85, we've got a third bullet point that says mobile vendors must not leave the vehicle from which they conduct their business parked unattended at an approved site for longer than 1 hour. Does that mean the vehicle towing it or the food van? Because there's no definition of the vehicle in the definition, it's just the food van, which says mobile. So I'm happy for this to go through, but I just think there needs a little bit of tweaking, if that's all right with through the CEO, to define vehicle, towing it, even though a van is still a vehicle under the registration rules, and what a food van is. So is this to say you can't leave the food van for an hour unattended, or does it mean you can't have the vehicle towing it parked with it for an hour or removed for an hour or whatever? What's it really mean?
Thank you, through you, Mayor. It's really referring to the operator, the vendor. What we don't want people doing is parking their food van at whatever, 6 a.m. in the morning, coming back at 11 a.m. once it gets busy to go, yep, all right, I'm ready to start business. I've claimed my spot, no one else can use it. So that's really the behaviour that we're trying to avoid. I'd argue the wording does make it clear because it's the mobile vendor that must not leave the vehicle which they conduct their business parked unattended. So it's the food van, which is where they conduct their business from, which the vendor is not allowed to leave unattended for an hour or more.
Oh, I accept it, Mayor. But I've driven past Berridup several times and the vans are shut.
You've been there overnight.
Yeah. So we've got to police this. I'd like to endorse the policy. I reckon it's great, and most of the sighting of these vans is off the roadway in a car park or whatever. I've got no problems with that. I reckon it's great. Good policy.
And it is that site that we've had the recent issues with, which.
Well, I can assure you, it's amazing that they get away with it. That's why we need somehow to make sure they don't park open, as Alderman Marks just said overnight. But I have seen it shut, and 2 vans there.
Yeah, and under the policy, if the breaches are repeated or excessive, we can prohibit them from operating in our municipality.
Well,
if it comes to that.
Through you, Mayor, they're like the supermarket trolleys. We should seize them, put them up to charge them a fee to recovery.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Acting Chair. Look, I'm very pleased that my concerns are now being embraced and taken up, and I understand this all works. But I must admit, because I'm always out that time in the morning between these areas, through you, Acting Chair, and to the Director, there's actually one of them that actually has the crossing brake on the wheel, so you can't move the van. Now, I've been around for a little while knowing a little bit about vehicles and whatever. That means that the vehicle can't be moved or towed and there's nobody in it. So, I mean, I think that a little bit of policing needs to be done. And I'm not going to say on here where it is, but it's close proximity to where the issues are. There's 2 places and it's one of those. So I just think we need, now whether or not it's because that person doesn't want competition, Acting Mayor, or the fact is, oh look, I'll just leave here for the night and I'll come pick up tomorrow morning, I'll put the wheel brake on and away you go. Well, I don't think any of that's acceptable. So I just raise that and can that be looked at when you do the policing side of it? That's all.
Certainly. And that it is an issue that we've recently become aware of, so it may take a little bit of time to resolve because our guys have to to attend at a time when this is
I know.
occurring, and we'll probably take a softer approach with them as an educational in the first instance, but potentially more heavy-handed.
I understand.
Sure. Anyone else? Alderman Alderson.
Thank you. Well, my question doesn't probably pertain to the policy, which I'm going to ask. It contains the mobile vans, so those that are parking, say, outside of local real estates, opposite bus interchanges, and they're very close to footpaths, sort of on bitumen type concrete areas.
Right.
I understand and realise that they are approved through a permit process, etc., but do some of the same criteria in this policy also apply to those people?
Yeah, through you, Mayor. It does. So our policy only relates to the food vans on council land, and we've got pre-approved sites which our traffic engineers, assessed as being safe and the like. But people can apply for a planning permit to operate a food van from other sites, and a lot of those ones you'll see perhaps up Main Road of Moona in some of those businesses' car parks that are closed at night. So they will have requirements under their planning permit, but several of the requirements in here would translate to them as well. So they're not bound by this policy, but there's certainly relevant clauses in there. So like the environmental health food permits and the like are a requirement for any food.
So they still have to park the vehicle facing a certain way. They still wouldn't be allowed plastic seating all over the place. They still have to provide a rubbish bin outside the food van in those situations, yes or no?
Yeah, most of those would be consistent, but it would depend on the planning permit. Each individual one could potentially have some different requirements in terms of which way they're facing, and some of them may have permission to put tables and chairs out if they have that in their planning.
Right. I just want to get a better understanding, so if people see something that necessarily applies to food vans on council land, but on private land, they may get confused and start ringing up complaining because it's not facing a certain way, seats are out, there's no rubbish bins, etc.
Yeah, look, I think it'd be safe to say they'd be required to manage their own waste. But yeah, with regards to seats and the orientation and the like, we really need to look at the planning permit for each specific one on private land.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I've just got a question regarding if there was to be any additional sites or alterations, changes to sites, so close the site. Is that something that can be done without coming back to council? Is it?
Thank you. Thank you, through you. Yeah, we have actually got that in as a recommendation, and that was a recommendation in the original policy as well. The reason we've done that is because, as a council, we need you to endorse the overarching policy, but the actual sites are provided as a separate appendix. And that's to authorise the CEO to make those amendments as we need to. So, for instance, we're currently looking down at Kibblins Reserve, where we've just done the big playground, but there's a big car park extension there. So there's always thoughts that maybe that'd be a great site for a food van. Rather than have to redo the policy and come back to you every time those opportunities come up, it allows the CEO to go through the process and add more sites, or to potentially adjust sites if they become problematic.
Perfect, thank you. That was just wanted to make sure that was clear. Thank you. That is all. I'll go back to.
That wasn't me.
Yeah, I have nothing more to say.
Thank you. All right, with that, we'll put the item to the vote. All in favour? It's passed unanimously. Item 11.1, policy update for sponsorship. If I can have someone to move that. Alderman Alderson. Thank you. Second by Alderman Marks.
So, thank you, Mayor. This is pretty much just another policy that's up for renewal. It's 4 years old, and there have been a couple of minor changes in regards to wording, referring to aldermen, councillors now as elected members, and the general manager as CEO. So I will open it up to the floor for debate if anybody wants to discuss anything regarding policy.
Anyone else like to speak to the item?
I guess I will just ask a few questions. I didn't flag any governance concerns in this at all, so I was surprised to hear the question without notice earlier in the meeting. So I guess just for clarity, in terms of the sponsorship, through you, Acting Mayor, could I ask the CEO for a few examples of what kind of sponsorships might be covered under this policy?
Through you, Mayor, it could be when we had the Do It Entertainment Centre, what's called the My State Bank Arena now, there were some sponsors that had naming rights over, well, it was actually the entrances to the Do It Entertainment Centre. So they had, I don't know, Cadbury's entrance, the whatever. And so they paid sponsorship to have their name on that entrance. And we owned the deck back then when it was taking place. You'd also have some sporting fields that there might be some signage put in place for sponsorship front facing though, because a lot of the signage inside the ground facing the oval is actually comes under the banner of the sporting club as long as it complies with council's policy. So they'd be the sort of, well, that we might have someone who wants to sponsor a park and have their name put on it. So it'd be those sort of situations. So,
sort of similar to when we got the request for the all accesses, the all access swing, and there was naming rights associated with that.
Yeah, sort of, because we did put a plaque on that accessible play equipment, acknowledging the bequest that we received from the regional web, who was the bequester.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
And just one follow-up question, if that's all right, through you, Acting Mayor. To clarify the removal of the policies from the way I read this was the fact that the conflict of interest policy and the gifts and donations register, the reason why that was removed from this particular policy was just that it wasn't relevant to the policy, rather than, it's not like those policies have been rescinded, they still exist and they're still operating.
That's correct, Mayor. Those policies are in place. In fact, there's a requirement to have those under the Local Government Act.
Yeah.
So they operate in their own right. So yeah, it's not actually connected to this. This is a different thing covering the sponsorship applications that we might get.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good. Any other questions or comments? We'll go back to the mover, which was
Me.
you.
That's okay. I'm happy to close.
Apologise.
Happy to close debate, Acting Mayor, put to the vote.
All those in favour? Pass unanimously. Thank you. 11.2 is a policy update for election caretaker period. If I can have someone to move that. Alderman Cockshott, seconded by Alderman Stringer. Alderman Cockshott.
Yeah, thanks, Acting Mayor. Very straightforward sort of policy. It's updated every 4 years for our requirements. Obviously, we've got an upcoming election as well. So, although it's not formally required, we do have it as part of the Act. So, I think it's pretty straightforward. Nothing really stems out of it. Just more some updates in regards to terminology, which reflects the current state of play.
Thank you. Anyone else like to make a comment? Yes, Councillor Campbell.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Do not be sorry.
Through you, Acting Mayor, I just had one question on this, which was about during the caretaker period, it says officers can still carry out activities such as policy reviews that are not likely to attract political controversy and are required regardless of the future election outcome. So my question is, how will those policy changes be made public? Will that be in the following agendas, minutes, or just noted?
Acting Mayor, the council still functions as normal. So any policy changes would just come back through a council meeting such as this. We'll still have our monthly council meetings. So the caretaker policy really just stops us from making big major decisions that might commit the next council into something that ties them to budget constraints or things that they should be making decisions on themselves. So really everything continues as normal.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, so we'll go back to the mover, which was
Nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. All right, all those in favour? Pass unanimously. 11.3, policy update dealing with unreasonable customer conduct.
How ironic.
Alderman King, seconder, Alderman Marks.
I think the same as the previous ones, Acting Chair, that this is just updating and keeping things as they should be now. So thank you.
No worries. Anyone else like to speak? All right, with that, we'll go to the vote.
Go to the vote.
All those in favour? Passed unanimously.
Hopefully the rest of it makes it easier for you now.
11.4, the Glenorchy Planning Authority delegations. Someone to move that? Anyone?
Anyone?
Alderman Marks, the second.
Through you, Chair, if I could just make a comment before we move on
Yes.
to questions on this. We've just picked up a drafting error in the proposal. You'll read item 4 says the estimated cost of new development exceeds $5 million. That's going to be opposite. Obviously, officers have to have delegation less than $5 million. Anything above that would come to council. So just need to note that. Yeah.
Very good. Answer the question, I think. Very good. Well, with that noted, could I have a seconder? You're happy with that?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, need a seconder? Councillor Kendall. Alderman Marks.
Nothing other than the same as the last ones. It's something that needs to be updated, and it's about time we update it. And as I was going to point out, the point was the $5 million as well, but that's been pointed out already. So happy for it to go to vote.
Perfect.
Can I just say,
yes,
that kept me awake last night. All night, but thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak to it? No, I just want to make a comment in terms of, I believe option 2 is the right call. I think this will streamline some unnecessary is not quite the right word, but some items that would come to planning that are small in nature, where the community hasn't raised any representations. There's been no major issue with what was planned. So I think this will be a streamlined, but still having the checks and balances in place for those things that require opposing if the ratepayer seems that isn't fit within the scheme. So I'm more than happy to approve the option 2. So with that, we'll put the item to the vote. I'll go back to Alderman Marks. You're happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Thank you. All those in favour? And passed unanimously. 5 now, procurement exemptions. Josh. Can I get a mover, please? Alderman Stringer, and seconded by Councillor Kendall. Alderman Stringer.
Just happy to accept the approval of the exemption of this award for because it's for a program that we need. We don't have any other competition to be able to compare it to, so it's just a standard thing to go through.
Any comments, Alderman Riddler?
Yeah, quite supportive, but just wondering whether the wording's right. You've got the contract for 3 years for 102,000 with an option to extend for another 2 years. Is there a different price for the next 2 years or through the acting director?
3 million. Yeah, so just in terms of that, it is just an extension for 2 years. We do want to obviously go to market. We don't currently have an option for another year or another 3 years.
So at the end of 3 years, we'll put it to market. So it's our option. If we wish. Okay, happy with that then.
Are you happy, man, with that?
Yes. We'll put that back to Alderman Stringer.
I'm happy to wrap that up.
Yep, no worries. All those in favour, raise a hand. It's passed unanimously. Item 11.6, a financial performance report to 31st of May 2026. I'm going to get a mover. Alderman Stringer, and seconded by Alderman Alderson. Alderman Stringer.
Very happy, Acting Mayor, to move the financial performance report again, as it's very favourable. Once again, it's very transparent of where, the ins and outs are happening with the money as well. So kudos to the financial team for another great report, and with so many difficulties in the last few months of actually happening with variations with what's happening in the world and the prices, that's well done to get the books back, looking back where we want them. That's it.
Very good. Anyone else like to speak? Alderman Alderson.
Thank you. I'd just like to comment, and I have a couple of questions. I would just like to comment, yes, we're still sitting in a relatively good position. And a couple of questions I have for the CFO, if that's okay. So with the current reflection of fuel prices, CFO, are we expecting a better bottom line in our next financial report?
So, just in terms of that, the slightly reduced fuel prices that we've observed, and obviously we are a beneficiary of the levy and the exemption on the fuel excise as well. That'll probably make like a $5,000 to $10,000 difference to the bottom line, and obviously that will go through into our cash balance, and then that's used to then fund our future capital programs.
Right. Okay, thank you. It's not me.
Anyone else? It's obviously we're nearing towards the end of a financial year. It's it's a great result again. We've been very smart with our budgeting. I think that we've considered a range of things that have come up. We've had items that have come up that could have knocked us around, and we've been very proactive with that. So thank you to the teams. You're very much CEO in terms of making sure that we're keeping things financially managed very well. So well done to everyone around the table as well as understanding that and not putting up items that are going to cost a ratepayer a lot of money. So it's excellent to see that we're on the same page. So that's good to see. With that, I will go back to Alderman Stringer.
We do move that.
Perfect.
Back in there.
No worries. All those in favour? It's passed unanimously. Item 11.7, the Local Government Association of Tasmania 2026 by-election.
So moved.
Alderman Slade, seconded by Alderman King. Slade, how we go through Alderman Slade to speak to it, or?
Yes.
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 Yeah,
So,
Okay, you can see there's attachment there from the Tasmanian Electoral Commission, on why this has come about. And as a result of that's coming about, we've got 3 people from our council, elected members, who have showed interest. Being the Deputy Mayor, the acting chair tonight, Russell Yaxley, Alderman Shane Orton and Alderman Tim Marks. And to go any further with this, that's so CEO can put up a documentation together. We need 1 candidate, and so I'm saying now, acting chair, that we go through a ballot.
Because they go outside and fight it out, and then.
So receive the document.
No, we won't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Mayor, just to be clear, you can actually vote on this now because it's to note correspondence, note the council received nominations from 3 of the elected members, resolved to determine by ballot,
yes,
so which was undertaken now, and then we'll nominate the successful candidate, and it authorises me to send that to the Tasmanian Electoral Commission.
Thanks very much, sir.
I can vote twice.
Thank you.
So once we've got the right person.
No, you can do that now.
It's a point of order, we've got to pass the recommendation first.
Yes,
Then we'll have the ballot.
that's right.
Right.
That's exactly right. So just to explain how the ballot will work, it's a secret ballot, so please keep it to yourself. There is only the need to put 1 nomination. So you can tick the box or put a cross in it or put a 1 in it if you like. So you only need to mark 1 nomination because that's all the Tasmanian Electoral Commission is asking for.
I'll move that the
Motion
motion.
vote first.
Yes, so we'll move.
No, we have to, well, we haven't had to
We're doing that first, aren't we?
Yep.
So we're moving first and then.
we have to move the motion first and get it
Yes,
resolved.
the motion has been
Yes, that's what we, so moved by Alderman Bridler, second.
No, I'll move that we put the motion, even though you're the mover.
All second was putting forward a procedural motion, but we already have
I've already got me.
a mover
Yes.
and a seconder.
Yes.
So you can just.
Well, up to you then. We're
Good,
going to
good,
go to the
good.
vote.
Yes.
So all those in favour?
All those in favour?
Tim, hold that box up.
See if I can, that's carried.
Carried unanimously. Thank you.
Come back around. Yep.
Got no false ballot in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to make a swan.
Thank you.
Now, we do have a scrutineer to assist Tim. We'll count the votes.
Who's that?
Committee room, be Alicia.
Oh, sorry, thank you. I thought I was looking for the other person.
Yeah.
Just talk amongst yourselves.
Elevator music.
Can we go to questions on those while we're waiting?
So, Amelia, in result of a tie, do we draw the marble or what's the process?
In result of a
And then you
tie,
gotta-
we'll put it back to another ballot. If we still keep getting ties, the Act says we can toss a coin, sorry, the policy says we can toss a coin.
It's hard to get a tie with nine.
Do we have a coin?
Yes, Tim actually did bring a coin, he was prepared. And I said, what's that for? And he said, but I mean, sorry, that is up to you as chair. If you choose to, you can continue running balance or you can choose to flip a coin. But the policy does.
Choose the coin.
There's a conflict of interest there.
Choose the mystery box.
Yeah, well, it might not be, but that could be. That could.
Could possibly, but you could nominate someone else to.
I'll just coordinate. No problem.
If we can't find a coin, we'll flip credit cards.
You could nominate or even me as a neutral party to flip the coin.
Sorry.
T-shirt, Eddie.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yes, good one.
But you'll burst it. Did you have a question, Eddie, while you were there? Slide them under the door when you go, mate. Yeah. At least you can see.
You were implying that Trump was in the dark with that. He's done everything based on.
We can.
It's totally embarrassing. Did you look? Did you still do You still got it?
I've got all your stuff.
Yeah, I just think about the other kids were asking me, they used to play with it.
No, please, no.
But if it's got some value itself, it's just going to sit in the cupboard.
All I was going to do.
It's a prop.
When I go back to New Zealand, I'm just going to do a heart, draw a heart.
Are you going to New Zealand again?
And then Thursday.
You won't be a resident of Glenorchy.
And I was going to do a heart.
You've got to stay here 4 nights a week.
No, I'm going to do a heart, so your stuff.
It's fine.
It's Thursday.
You won't be understand.
But I just had them contact me.
I'll give Linda a call. I'll just say, Stuart's not a resident.
Mayor, we do have a result. The successful party who will be nominated to the Tasman Electoral Commission.
Yeah.
Alderman Tim Marks.
Mayor, can I move that the ballot papers be destroyed?
So moved.
Then second it.
Second to Alderman Marks. All those in favour of destroying the ballot papers?
Well, I haven't finished.
Oh, go back to.
Yeah.
You go back to.
Go back to me, yeah.
Alderman Slade.
Yeah, I haven't finished. I've moved a motion, which the acting mayor's taken board and will still continue me.
I moved a motion, put the thing, and then we put it.
No. There was already a motion in play.
Yeah, but I moved a put motion,
Yeah, but nobody
procedural
accepted it.
motion, which you put.
No,
No, he didn't.
no, he didn't.
They went back to the
Yeah.
But the motion was put to the.
The motion was put to the vote and carried.
Okay, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right, Stuart.
Sorry. Alderman Slade.
We destroyed the form. I've got no problem.
Yes.
We'll make note of that and destroy the.
All right, well, with that, we will move into closed council. So
No question.
No.
questions on that? I'm jumping ahead again. So we'll move to 11.8, which is notice of motion, questions on notice or matters. Alderman Riddler.
Excuse me, I'm taking it up with the CEO, re the problem with, no, better raise it in, no, I'll raise it in closed council, actually.
Move on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? Alderman Alderson?
Yes, no, I'll raise mine at open council for the benefit of the community. So my question is, how are we tracking from a financial point of view with the Glenorchy War Memorial Pool repair? Are we on budget and do we look like completing the works on budget.
Acting Mayor, I'd like to ask our Director of Environmental Services.
Yeah, thank you, through you, Mayor. Yes, it is on budget as reported in the financial report. Council approved a budget of up to 7 million, as you're probably aware.
Yeah.
It was a $6.5 million budget with a $500,000 contingency. Yes. Whilst there's still little bits and pieces to go with the a few variations coming towards the end, just little bits and pieces that I can't be entirely sure on, but it looks like it will end up in that slightly more than 6.5, but less than the 7. So falling in the vicinity that we expected.
Excellent. Anything else? Anyone?
So moved.
No.
So moved. Close the meeting.
So we will close the meeting. If I can get a mover.
Several.
Seconder is Alderman Riddler. So with that, we will close the open council meeting. Thank you for everyone who's come to.
You got to put the motion.
Put the motion. Everyone those in favour? Pass unanimously. Thank you. Again, this is third time lucky. We'll try again.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for everyone in attendance, and thank you for those online watching, and have a